Today's video is about another beautiful flowering plant from our garden known as the Mexican heather or false heather. And as you can see, these flowers are in bloom and looking really beautiful in our garden today. Hi everyone and welcome to Fresh from my garden. This is another beautiful flowering shrub from our garden, the Mexican heather or the false heather, and these are beautiful flowering plants that are usually used for borders and also as ground cover because these plants don't really grow very tall. They just grow to about 1 to 2 foot in height, and they are filled with tiny green beautiful leaves and lots of tiny little flowers. And we have the purple colored flowers, but they also come in pink and white variety. So once these are in bloom, they look really beautiful and they're filled with lots of flowers which stay in bloom for a very long time. As the name suggests, they are native to Mexico and are a tropical plant and usually bloom throughout the summer season. And once the flowering season is over, these flowers go to seed and they are self seeding plants. And these plants have tiny little plants that grow around the mother plant. So it's easy to propagate because these are self seeding plants, and there are a lot of tiny plants that we can find growing very close to the mother plant. These plants can also be propagated by cuttings or by root division method, and these plants spread out and grow covering a lot of ground area, and as they grow we can divide them and separate them from the root to get new plants that we can plant in different parts of our garden. Since these plants don't really grow very tall, they can be used as borders in our garden, in flower beds, in small containers, and also in hanging baskets. Mexican heather is a drought tolerant plant, and even if they are not watered regularly on a daily basis, they can still survive and they can do well in containers as well as in the ground. The Mexican heather flowers come in a few different color varieties, and purple is what you see here, and pink and white is also available, but purple is the most beautiful of them all, and that's what we have here in our garden. They are really non fussy kind of plants and do well in almost any kind of soil. Just make sure that they are well draining and they don't remain soggy for a long time. The plants don't really require too much of fertilizer, and we don't really fertilize these plants much except for the regular fertilizing that we do for the other flowering plants in our garden. So, without even too much of fertilizer, they really grow well and bloom really well, and these blooms stay beautiful for a very long time. Sometimes these plants might start looking a little leggy after the blooms are spent. So just pruning of those little branches will help them get more bushier and get new stems and branches and lots of new blooms. Mexican heather, being a tropical plant, loves sun and does really well in full sun or even in partial sunlight. Hope you enjoyed a view of these beautiful flowers from our garden and the simple tips to grow this lovely plant that can be a great addition to your garden. Please keep supporting and watching for more gardening related videos. Thanks for watching Fresh from my garden.